You are Locked On Knicks Postcast, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, whatever happens the rest of the way, please know that Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals in the NBA in 2025 was a memorable one. In fact, so memorable, we don't ever want to remember it because the Knicks choked it away. Pacers steal Game 1 after hitting a tie-breaking shot right at the buzzer at the end of regulation. It tied the game, or at least looked like it won the game. Turned out to be a two-pointer from Tyrese Haliburton. Again, it tied the game, sent it to overtime, and that's where the Pacers took care of business. 138-135, the final score. And again, the Knicks have lost Game 1 despite having a double-digit lead late in the fourth quarter. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. If not, welcome aboard. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. Glad to have you. Please follow me on X as well, at Jay Berman, Jayberman. And welcome to the Locked On Knicks Postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Knicks podcast feed. The Postcast gives you a place to hang out after every single Knicks game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And unfortunately, you got to tune into today because it's a 138-135 Knicks loss, one that really not much else to say other than it's completely unbelievable. So here we go.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, under 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Knicks have a 14-point lead in Game 1. It looks like everything is ready, set, go for a 1-0 Knicks series lead. Unfortunately, overtime came next. That's because the Knicks blew that lead, then blew a lead in overtime, and blow the game. Final score, as we said, 138-135. Teams leading a playoff game by 14 or more points with 2:45 to play in the fourth quarter. Folks, this is an amazing stat. They are 994-0 since 1997. The Knicks lost. So they're now 994-1. Tyrese Haliburton at first looked like he hit the game-winning shot at the end of regulation. Turns out the furious comeback from the Pacers only tied the game. It looked like Kevin Durant all over again. Again, a toe on the line for Haliburton means we go to overtime. And, of course, the Pacers outscored the Knicks 13-10 in that stanza and absolutely steal game number 1. As we said, with 2:45 to play, the Knicks led by 14. A 16-5 run by the Pacers with roughly 2.5 to play, as we said. 6 straight threes, 5 by Aaron Nesmith. Nesmith had 20 in the fourth quarter. Folks, this game was written. It was described. It was written about. Everything was good to go. And then the final 3 minutes went down and everything changed. As we said, the Knicks lose 138-135, really at a loss for words after this monumental collapse to Indiana in our own building. Again, with 2:45 to play, the Knicks had a double-digit lead, only to see it go bye-bye. The combination of Nesmith and Haliburton, well, they were ridiculous. Haliburton, 31 points, obviously including the 2 at the end of regulation. 30 for Nesmith. As we said, Nesmith doing most of his damage from beyond the arc. He hit 8 3-pointers, including 5 in a row down the stretch when it seemed like it really didn't even matter. It seemed like the game was over. No one told Nesmith. No one told Tyrese Haliburton. As we said, they each pump in over 30. Jalen Brunson, meanwhile, was all ready to take kudos once again and receive the bouquets for a wonderful performance. Instead, we vent because Brunson, who with his 5 fouls late, had to play quote unquote, defensively on his defense. And that certainly showed with those 5 fouls. 5 fouls also for OG Anunoby. He went into the extra session with the 5 fouls. So did that contribute? Who knows? Possibly. Not much defense played at all. In fact, the very beginning of the game was much like the very end of the game for the Pacers. Pacers hit their first 9 shots from the field. All 5 starters scored in the first half of the first quarter. Their first miss came almost 6 minutes into the opening stanza. Half of the first quarter featured nothing but made shots for the Pacers. So you figure this is going to be a long night. Nope, the Knicks weather that storm. Then they hold the Pacers to 9 for 26 shooting in the second quarter. So we're right back on track. And the Knicks, who led by 2 after 1, led by 7 at the break. But again, things changed in the second half. What's also interesting is the Knicks 4-0 record this postseason when leading after the third quarter. Well, you can now make it 4-1. In fact, the Knicks at one point during their double-digit lead late in the fourth quarter were about to improve to 5-0 when leading after the third quarter. But again, the late stage fourth quarter run for the Pacers was both, 1, unbelievable because they hit every single shot, and 2, got to blame somebody. Might as well blame the coach. Tom Thibodeau didn't seem like he had his finger on the pulse of exactly what was going wrong. Now, look, there's plenty to blame to go around, but we got to pick someone. So we'll pick Tibbs, who just could not seem to get the adjustments needed, especially late in the fourth quarter when, yes, there was foul trouble. 5 each for OG and Brunson. Hart and Cat each had 4. By the way, Mikal Bridges, who played excellent defense tonight, did not commit a foul. Anyways, foul trouble going into the extra session. Does it contribute to how you play it? On the ball defense? For sure. There's no doubt about it. But again, at that point, both Haliburton and Nesmith weren't missing shots anyways. Nesmith, 9 of 13 from the floor, hit 9 field goals, 8 of them were from 3. As for Haliburton, 12 of 23, he had 4 3-pointers. And again, 31 for Haliburton, 30 for Nesmith. As for the Knicks, we told you about Brunson's epic night. 43 for him on 15 of 25 shooting, 35 for Cat. Cat had 35 and 12. He was excellent tonight, including 11 of 17 from the floor. But again, when the Knicks, 1, needed a basket and 2, needed a stop, nowhere to be found on either end. And because of it, the Knicks are now in a stunning 1-0 series hole. Knicks hit 11 3-pointers, 15 for Indiana, obviously nearly half of them coming in the second half of the fourth quarter. As we said, they hit their first 9 shots, and then it seemed like they hit their last 30. Unbelievable stuff. And it begins with the Haliburton 2 to send it into overtime. And at that point, even though you knew it was too early for Haliburton to put up the choke sign, it just felt like the air was out of the building already. As amazing as the atmosphere was in the Celtics series, even in the Pistons series, but more specifically the Celtics series in the semis, well, that's as quiet as things got down the stretch here in the fourth quarter, and specifically in overtime. As we said, Mikal Bridges played excellent defense. He scored 16, as did OG. But again, when the Knicks needed 1 a basket and 2 a stop down the stretch late, nothing to be found. As we said, 11 3-pointers for the Knicks, 15 for Indiana. As for the rebounding performance, 39 rebounds for Indiana and 46 for the Knicks. So they out-rebounded Indiana. However, those costly non-rebounds late in the fourth quarter certainly proved to be a difference. We'll take a break. We have to do, obviously, player of the game. You know who it's going to be. And we'll take a look at the schedule. As difficult as it is to look ahead, it's what we've got to do. Sure, it's 1 game. Sure, it stings, but the Knicks are not dead yet. Again, just one game. All right, when I found out Skims was making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I've heard so much about their quality from friends and family, so I had to give it a try. Let me tell you, it lives up to the hype. I've always had issues with underwear, fit, comfort, or just finding the right style for me. Skims changed all that. Their men's lines offers something for everyone, from boxer briefs to classic briefs, all designed with the perfect balance of comfort and style. I tried the Skims Stretch 5-inch boxer brief, and I'm hooked. These are perfect for my active lifestyle. They move with me, never lose their shape, and stay in place all day. Whether I'm working out or just running errands, they're the most comfortable and reliable underwear I've ever owned. Plus, the lightweight material feels amazing, almost like you're wearing nothing at all. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com/LockedOnNBA and Skims stores. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey, select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. All right, next up is Car Gurus. Shopping for a car should be exciting, not exhausting, but between the confusing prices and hidden fees, it can feel overwhelming. That's why I love using Car Gurus. They help you cut through the noise and show you the best deals with full confidence. With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more new and used cars than any other major online marketplace in the U.S. They verify dealers, provide real price analysis, and give you the tools and data you need to make the right choice without second-guessing yourself. Do you need a deal you can trust? Well, Car Gurus makes it easy to compare vehicles side by side with unbiased deal ratings. Price drop alerts, so you know exactly when the perfect car is available for your budget. Plus, the in-depth vehicle details gives you peace of mind before stepping onto any lot. It's no wonder SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com, cargurus.com. All right, we are back, and without further ado, here we go.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
We're giving it to the two-headed monster tonight of Tyrese Haliburton and Aaron Nesmith, who were just brilliant down the stretch, specifically Nesmith, who again hit 5 consecutive three-pointers down the stretch to turn a 14-point deficit for the Pacers into a tie game and then eventually into a victory in overtime. Nesmith, as we said, had 30. Haliburton had 31. They combined 12 of 21 from three-point land. 8 three-pointers for Nesmith, 4 for Haliburton. Haliburton obviously had the game-tying shot in regulation, and then clutch shots, including an Obi Toppin slam. For some reason, the Knicks just let happen. That turned out to be the final field goal of the game, and it proved to be 3 points too many for the Knicks. Again, 138-135, the final score. As for Game 2, you got to get yourself right up off the mat. Game 2 will be Friday at the Garden. Again, all tip times for all 7 games, if necessary, are 8 Eastern. So again, 8 Eastern, Friday for Game 2, Sunday Game 3, Tuesday Game 4. Again, Games 3 and 4 in Indiana on Sunday and Tuesday. Game 5 would be Thursday, 6 Saturday, 7 the following Monday. So we still have plenty of time to kick around the Knicks and the Pacers. Again, 138-135, the final score. The Knicks got, as we said, a huge performance from Jalen Brunson, including 12 of 14 from the line. The Knicks were excellent from the line tonight, 28 free throws from the line. And obviously, that's not where they lost the game, specifically down the stretch. Pacers, as we said, hit their first 9 shots. The Knicks actually ended the first quarter on a 14-5 run. They ended the second quarter on a 9-3 run. And as we said, they had the lead after 3 quarters. 994-1 now are teams that were leading by at least 14 points with under 3 minutes to play. An amazing comeback, an amazing collapse, and we'll get to do it all over again Friday night for a game number 2. All right, thanks for making Locked On Sports New York your first listen today. For your second listen, check out Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night until an NBA champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NBA Game Night on Locked On NBA on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also want to mention our partners in crime at Locked On Knicks. That's Gavin Schell and Alex Wolf. So follow, subscribe, and enjoy. Again, that's Gavin Schell and Alex Wolf. They handle all the stuff at Locked On Knicks. Game 2 will be Friday night, 138-135. We'll see if the Knicks can pick themselves up off the mat. It would be impressive if they did. That's how bad the loss was tonight. Again, the Pacers steal one and have a 1-0 series lead. Have a good night, everyone.